I wish I could greet you all with good day, but truthfully if you're watching this video, it probably isn't. You're probably also wondering why MagiQuest Myrtle Beach has suddenly closed and why there was no notice in advance. To understand this, we first need to understand the state of the company. Back in 2010, Great Wolf Resorts Inc., the company behind the Great Wolf Lodge Hotels, acquired majority stake in Creative Kingdoms, the company behind MagiQuest, effectively allowing them to take over the company. Their primary interest in doing so was to make it cheaper when installing MagiQuest in their hotels and when installing new content there. Over time, all the old staff behind MagiQuest, including myself, were replaced by Great Wolf employees. This is where the trouble started, as everyone who understood the old system and the player base was now gone, forcing them to completely overhaul the system when it came to new content. They released ShadowQuest in their hotels as the first test of this new system. The system now uses Unity-based real-time graphics instead of pre-rendered videos. This has resulted in a very noticeable drop in graphical quality and overall unpositive reaction from location staff and old players. After hearing this, you may start to realize the problem. They have all these existing locations using an old system they do not understand nor want to continue supporting, and old locations have been unable to get the support they need. The questionable solution to this is redoing the old questing adventures using real-time models like ShadowQuest and new voice actors. That's what's in development right now and being called MagiQuest 2.0. If old franchise locations wish to purchase new content, they will be forced to switch to this, and it's going to be pretty costly, I imagine. This finally brings us to why MagiQuest Myrtle Beach was closed, a location which was fully owned by Creative Kingdoms and thus went to Great Wolf Resorts Incorporated during the acquisition. After evaluating the cost of running the location, the difficulty of running a location outside their hotels, and the profit the location brings in, it's clear that they decided that converting it to MagiQuest 2.0 would be too much money and hassle, especially with recent tax increases in the area, thus bringing an end to the once flagship location and unfortunately a lot of exclusive quests that no other location will ever have. As for why there was no announcement, that's a harder question to answer. The only reason I found out and was able to attend the final day was I got an email from an inside connection. This was just a few days beforehand and I had very little time to plan my trip. I would have even doubted that it was the truth, but the connection was very trustworthy. The only other mention I could find was some random guy on Facebook who must have had an inside connection as well. I have since come to find out that the employees were told to not mention it, and when I arrived there was not even a sign on the door. Some of them even pushed Great Wolf multiple times to post an announcement on social media, but to no avail. I have no idea why they would choose to do it like this. I know Great Wolf Resorts has a questionable history when it comes to keeping their company afloat, but this is frankly suicide. Already we are seeing a massive backlash from those finding out the location is closed, and with Myrtle Beach being a dying vacation spot, many families only make the trip because of MagiQuest. These families are going to be pretty pissed when they arrive, and over time they are probably going to find out about the takeover, thus reflecting bad on Great Wolf Resorts directly. As for what to do now, it's hard to say. If you want a Myrtle Beach-like location to visit, its closest sister is the Tokyo Dome location. It's not in English, and it still lacks some of the content, but it's closer to what Myrtle Beach was than your second best bet Pigeon Forge, which is a good choice for one inside the US. I would, however, visit one of those locations soon for one last play. All the pre-rendered video locations are likely going to die out from lack of support or upgrade to the new system, in the process of losing what you know and love. As for my future plans, I have the files necessary to bring MagiQuest Online back, and with that I would love to add new content including former real-world locations, but it's going to be rough and probably won't happen for a while. The good news is the engine MagiQuest Online runs on is very well documented, and with the tools available it will be easy for me to add new content to it. The bad news is while I do have pictures of every square inch of the joint from my final visit as well as limited cam footage to model off of, I do lack a lot of the technical assets. I have most of the GUI files from the quested stat stations, but what I could really use help with is obtaining the video files from the stations and most importantly the encounters, as I don't have many of them. And as far as effect sounds, I have none of them. Ideally, it would be great if someone could grab the files directly off the PCs and toss them on a flash drive, as I unfortunately no longer have easy access. I would be happy to provide a upload server for you and keep your name anonymous if you so choose. I would also settle for coin cam and mic recoins of sounds and encounters, as for the sake of preservation, it's better than nothing. Beyond this, I hope my video was at least there to educate you on the reasons for the closing. If you have any questions I may be able to answer, feel free to comment down below or contact me on Twitter using the link in the description.